Be doing this all over again. It is the men's orienteering sprint event here at the World Games 2025. And this our overview of the map and the route that the men will be tackling.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts off the same as the women's course. Lots of controls very close together, super intricate. Then they have a longer section here from controls 4 to 8, just because obviously the men will be running that a little bit quicker. They've got a little bit further to go. Super intricate. You've got to find the right entrances to these tiny gardens. We will see them around then. Control 11 by this big wheel. It's the Chengdu Eye, and around control 12 as well. It's under the cave system. And then it gets even more tricky. Lots of small passageways you have to identify around controls 13, 14, 15. There's a route choice as well from controls 17 to 18. Which bridge do you take? Which one do you think will be shorter? Which one do you think will be faster? And then we tend to see them at the end as well. 21 on top of the hill, into 22, the last control, and the run-in finishing in front of this pagoda. This is Tomáš Křivda in the blue, and I think actually Janis Bonek in the white jersey there, and that means that Tomáš Křivda has caught up and overtaken Bonek out in the field, and Křivda looking very good here, and he's running about 9 seconds faster than Yannick Michels as well.
Well, it will be interesting to see how Tomáš Křivda's recovered after that DNF in the middle distance. But once the athlete makes that decision, then all focus will have no doubt been on their recovery and focusing towards this second chance at a medal at the World Games.
Exactly, they'll have taken that time to rest, recover, cool down as well, take advantage of some air conditioning and refuel, do all of those usual things. And Křivda here, the Czech athlete, he is an all-rounder as well, does have World Cup medals in the sprint. Oh, a small mistake here. He should have gone left directly out of coming out of that little artificial cave, but Bonek behind him also making that same mistake. He'll only lose about 5 seconds, but we've seen margins as close as that.
We really have, and at this elite level, like you say, every second counts, and it might just be 5 seconds there, but if you do that a couple of more occasions, that's suddenly 15, 20 seconds you're talking about, and that is definitely the difference between a medal and not.
Oh, this is definitely a mistake. This looks like Tomáš Křivda. It's the blue top of Czechia. He's on his way to the 17th control in the men's race. It's so intricate because you've got all the, you see where the sections are taped. They can't go into those sections, but they can go between them. And to read all that detail is very, very difficult. He's now got a route choice as well. He's got to cross this river that you can see right at the bottom of your picture, choosing exactly which way to go. He's taken, I think, the slower route, but I don't think there's too much in it. And actually, this is one of the few points where you can actually start pushing on the course. This is Tomáš Křivda, set really good time early on, but we've seen a few mistakes from him on the broadcast today, just misunderstanding some of the detail here. It looks good enough though for a medal spot still for Tomáš Křivda of Czechia. Let's see how he does.
Now we cheer for athletes starting number 138.
Or another athlete who's come out to China to do some of his preparation earlier in the year. That energy from this gold medal with him as he flies back home. Tomáš Křivda and Zoltán Bardolsho making up the European podium. They will no doubt be changing that focus after some celebration here in Chengdu.
Závody v orientačním běhu vyvrcholily na světových hrách smíšenou sprinterskou štafetou. Mezi 17 týmy nescházelo ani české kvarteto, které rozbíhala na prvním úseku Denisa Králová. Ona sama od sebe určitě čekala lepší výkon a na předávku doběhla na 10. pozici. První mužský člen české štafety Jakub Glonek se popral se svým úsekem více než dobře. Postupně předbíhal jednoho soupeře za druhým a protože se i dobře orientoval v terénu, posunul české kvarteto o 30 vteřin výše na výborné 3. místo. Pro dalšího Čecha Tomáše Křivdu, stříbrného z mužského sprintu, to na třetím úseku byla velká výzva udržet české kvarteto na medailových pozicích. Také Tomáš Křivda si počínal na trati s velkým přehledem a posunul Česko dokonce na průběžné 2. místo. Finišmenka Tereza Rauturier vybíhala na závěrečný úsek jako druhá za vedoucím Švýcarskem. Na zkušenou reprezentantku se pak na trati dotáhla Švédka a protože Tereze podle vlastních slov nešly v závěru nohy tolik, jak by si přála, propadla se o 1 místečko. Tady stále byla v kontaktu se švédskou štafetou. Do cíle ji ale doprovodili kolegové ze štafety a společně pak prožívali medailovou radost z chutí bronzu. Nescházel ani typicky český pokřik, no tak jsme třetí, no a co? Tak jsme třetí, A jak hodnotili
Ale jako musím říct, že kluci to fantasticky odbránili všichni a byli jako jeden tým a po zásluze jsme ve finále.
Přestože do širší světové špičky patří hokejově exotické země jako právě Namíbie nebo třeba jihoamerické celky Argentina a Kolumbie, tak finále letošních světových her má typické ledně hokejové obsazení a sice Česko proti Spojeným státům. Janovi Oral vystupuje proti téhle přihrávce a Pavel Strýček musel dokonce na zem, ale je tu střela a s ní i první gól. Daniel Brabec inkasuje z rány Kevina Mooneyho, který mu už před chvílí zatopil po individuálním průniku. To se ještě radoval český golman, teď už byl ale úspěšnější Američan a otevírá skóre.
Strašná škoda, protože nemůžeme takhle stihnout pokryt odražený puk na střelu z vrcholu kruhu. To je pro golmana velmi složitý, protože Američané mají fantastickou střelu při té přesilové hře a bohužel musíme dotahovat, ale zase musíme začít, jak se říká, od nuly.
A teď pojďme dopředu. Marek Loskot má prostor a jde do přečíslení 2-1, které ještě vylepšil kličkou, ale nezakončil. Vracející se Američan v poslední chvíli sebral nejproduktivnějšímu Čechovi na turnaji výhodu a tohle je naopak průnik z levého křídla. A ještě jedna šance pro Američany, tyčka za Brabcem a puk končí v síti. Tak to bylo přesně to, o čem jsme mluvili. Hra se okamžitě po nevyužité české příležitosti přelila před českou bránu a je z toho naopak gól v naší síti. Na pravé straně měl trochu prostoru střelec druhé branky Pascaly. Česká obrana ho nakonec zneutralizovala, ale není to přečíslení, je to postup 3-3, který ale končí gólem. Z nenápadné akce Češi dávají kontaktní branku, tak to je přesně to, co jsme potřebovali.
Nádherná inlineová akce. Škálda tam šel do brány před brankáře, Jakub mu to tam vystřelil, polostřílená nahrávka teď. Golman samozřejmě nemůže v tomhletom reagovat. Výborný zasloužený snížení.
Petr Školout skutečně tečoval to nahození od Jakuba Bernada z pravé strany. V krátkém časovém rozmezí si připsal Della Morte a Češi taky můžou zazlobit. Vyoral dojel až do rohu, ale útočná akce pokračuje. Loskot pálí. Johnson nemá puk a má ho za zády. Češi vyrovnávají na 2-2. Jakub Bernat se prosadil na brankovišti.
Výborně, Marek to tam fantasticky vystřelil z otočky a ten golman samozřejmě to nemůže pokryt, takže dorážka a kluci tam byli dva před bránou. Super, perfektní.
32. minuta a finále nezačíná znovu, protože Češi mají výraznou psychologickou výhodu po téhle vyrovnávací brance. Mooney si bere delší rozjezd na další steč české brány. Tohle je Halvorsen a Mooneyho nádherná rána. Američané se vracejí do vedení. Tak ani 2 minuty jsme se netěšili z toho rovnovážného stavu. Potom si vzal kotouč Kevin Mooney. Po 4. ho vyslal na Jakuba Brabce a po 2. ho dokázal poslat za něj.
No, tam to krásně vystřelil přes beka z vrcholu kruhu a trefil krásně jako šibenici a tohle se prostě strašně těžko chytá.
Brabec tam šel vyrážečkou, ale ta rána měla obrovskou razanci a byla skvěle umístěná.
Teď zase musíme zvýšit trošku aktivitu. Je pravda, že po vyrovnání jsme trošku na minutku tak nějak jako ochabli, nechali jsme zbytečně Američanům, aby hráli na kotouči a bohužel se nám to nevymstilo. No. Ale pořád 6 minut je poměrně dost dlouhá doba a věřím pořád.
Zbořil pohybem, zaměstnal 2 soupeře a Patrik Šebek to vzal na sebe. Je opět vyrovnáno. Češi nečekali dlouho s odpovědí a fantastické finálové drama pokračuje. Patrik Šebek srovnává na 3-3.
Nádherná střela, prostě chlumek hráčů před brankářem nic nevidí, stačí to tam nastřelit a tam už se něco může stát a krásně to prošlo a vidíte, že skoro z půlky hřiště a fantastický, skvělý vyrovnání. Já myslím, že jsme to otočili rychle.
Až před Brabce se dostal Halvorsen. Šebek bojuje i rybičkou. Ale právě Halvorsen se stihl vrátit a dlouhou přihrávkou vysouvá Kevina Mooneyho, který ukončuje finále. Kevin Mooney nastřílel ve finále hat-trick a porazil český lineový výběr skoro sám.
No, tak to je obrovská škoda, nechali jsme tam za sebe hráče a to nás bohužel strašně mrzí.
Češi se ve finále 2krát dokázali dotáhnout, smazali nepříznivé skóre 0-2 a potom zareagovali i na ten gól na 2-3. Ale nic z toho nestačilo. Lukáš Novák končí na kolenou a v slzách, protože před tímto mužem Danielem Brabcem se v prodloužení zjevil Kevin Mooney a ten svým 10. gólem na světových hrách rozhoduje. 10. gól Kevina Mooneyho byl zlatý. Český tým získal po 5. za sebou medaile ze světových her. Po bronzu z Kaohsiungu a po bronzu z Cali přišlo zlato z Bratislavy, stříbro v Birminghamu a teď tedy po 2. za sebou 2. místo. Po nádherném finálovém dramatu s hořkým koncem Česko-Spojené státy 3-4 po prodloužení.
Čeští florbalisti se takhle namotivovávají na utkání o bronz po 2. v řadě. Na světových hrách po Birminghamu 2022 i tentokrát je čeká utkání o 3. místo, tehdy proti Lotyšsku vítězné 7-3, tentokrát proti Švýcarům.
Je to jeden zápas, známe, jak Švýcaři jsou urputní, jak umí bojovat, jak se umí vydat v těch důležitých momentech, tak doufejme, že tyhle ty papírové předpoklady český tým dneska bez zbytku splní.
Švýcarský brankář Nils Schalin musel likvidovat překazný pokus, ale teď už nezachránil situaci Adam Zubek. 1-0 pro Česko, čas 1:23 a velmi razantní start české reprezentace.
Jakoby Švýcaři vůbec nezachytili ten signál, kdy vlastně Zubek rozehrával z našeho levého rohu přes obránce a okamžitě si nabíhal na střed. A ten hráč, který měl jít s ním, tak zůstal v té původní pozici. Skvěle sehraný signál. V podstatě potom trenérům nezbývá.
Druhý gól Česka. Čas 1:55, Adam Hemerka a jeho táhlá střela od půlící čáry. A Schalin tentokrát v netbalkách. Rozčiluje se, protože jeho tým zatím brání velmi mizerně.
Jakoby ta časná ranní hodina pro zápas, to znamená 9 v Číně, nesvědčilo švýcarským florbalistům, ale tam Pepa Rýpar skvěle sehrál tu clonu před brankářem, šel přesně do toho prostoru a znemožnil dobrý zákrok švýcarskému brankáři a Češi se skvělou produktivitou, 2 střely na branku, respektive 3 střely na branku a 2 góly.
Snad se příště nebude hrát třeba od 7.
Tak
Zubek a jeho šance. Druhá v tomhle utkání. Jakub Buršík, úspěšná dorážka. 3-0. Čas 5:57 a národní tým to tam Švýcarům sype.
opět hráči výborně postavení před švýcarskou brankou. Jak uvolnění Zubka, tak Buršík. Švýcaři jsou tam sice ve 3, ale v podstatě brání jenom prostor nebo tyčky svého brankáře. Ani jeden nebyl důsledný v obsazení soupeřů a kluci toho skvěle využili.
A viděli jsme, jak tam okamžitě po sobě gestikulují Zubek, Buršík a taky Langer. Vydávají se do forecheckingu, který se Čechům vyplácí Adam Zubek. 4-0 pro Česko, čas 12:03.
Zubek zakončil jeho asi nejlepší střídání zatím v tomto utkání. Nejprve našel Langera na středu, který nebyl připraven, potom Buršíka, který střílel a v zápětí byl Zubek za svoji pracovitost odměněn brankou a on má tu střelu jako pravák k levé tyči, jako krosem přes branku má neuvěřitelnou.
Němeček a Adam Zubek uzavírá hat-trick. Čas 16:17. 5-0 pro Česko. Neskutečný zápas vítkovického útočníka.
Neměl to jednoduché, ten míček skákal, trefil ho ze vzduchu, ale tak jak Buršík předtím tu situaci nezvládl, tak teď to udělal skvěle, kdy nehledal Zubka tou krosovou přihrávkou, ale s tou zpětnou vlastně nechal proběhnout 4 hráče Švýcarska a vytvořil prostor jak pro Němečka, který mohl zakončovat, tak pro ještě lepší postavení Zubka, kterého Němeček skvěle viděl a vyústilo to v 5. gól.
A první švýcarský gól, přece jenom tahle střela propadla za Tomáše Jurca a postaral se o to univerzál z Richenbergu Levin Konrad. Čas 34:55.
No, myslím si, že tuhletu střelu si Jurco bude pamatovat, protože tam nechal dost prostoru na přední tyči.
Znovu švýcarský kapitán. Na vrcholu potom Hermle spolu s Matem Steinerem. Cauk na svém stanovišti vpravo. Seiler a před brankou úplně volný střelec Pascal Schmucky. Druhý švýcarský gól, využitá situace 6:5, čas 38:58. A Švýcaři to rozhodně nezabalili.
No, určitě tahle branka i ten způsob hry dodá sebevědomí švýcarskému týmu. Tam to kluci v té obraně moc nedotočili. Uvidíme, jestli čeští trenéři šahnou k nějakým změnám, třeba v sestavě.
Cauk. Seiler si hledá pozici. Steiner. Teď nepřenechal balonek a tenhle míček míří do odkryté branky a zapadl tam Hou. Rozhodčí to ještě celé zkontrolují na videu, ale tohle bude český gol. Podívejte se, Caukova přihrávka. Steiner si ještě myslel, že se za ním nachází Joel Seiler a potom nesprintoval dostatečně rychle.
Myslím si, že to
jednoznačně balonek překročil brankovou čáru.
jeho asi nejlepší, nebo ne nejlepší, ale šampionát, kdy se poprvé zapsal, byl ten pražský 2018.
Filip Langer proti prázdné brance. nabídl pozici právě Adamu DeLongovi i za jeho obranou aktivitu. Teď to tak symbolicky dopadlo. A Adam DeLong zařizuje 7. český gól. Definitivní potvrzení bronzu pro národní tým.
Je to tak a
Gól v oslabení a do prázdné branky.
jako kdyby tenhle ten gól signalizoval nebo potvrzoval to, co jsme viděli vlastně celý zápas, nebo většinu toho zápasu, kdy Češi velmi pečlivou, soustředěnou hrou eliminovali Švýcary a ti naopak jakoby nebyli schopní nic vymyslet, nebyli schopní zabojovat v těch důležitých momentech. A
je to opravdu náročné fyzicky a i takto sportovci ve 35 stupních Celsia zvládají, jako kdyby to nic nebylo.
Carlos Peña, 28letý Kolumbiec, asi překvapivý účastník semifinále a minimálně tedy překvapivý v té poslední dvojici. To nikdy nebyl na nějaké světové soutěži na mistrovství světa. A proti němu Jaroslav Chum, 27letý závodník z Kladna, 5. na mistrovství světa 2022. Letos vyhrál světový pohár v Montpellieru. Vlastně unikátní záležitost, 4 roky za sebou vždycky vyhrál jeden závod světového poháru, mezi tím jednou i celou sérii. Takže velká hvězda tohoto sportu a zasloužil by si minimálně medaili, prostě ta kariéra by si zasloužila, ne, že je to Čech, ale ta kariéra by si zasloužila tuhle velkou medaili, aby se zapsal do té historie parkouru, tak jak se patří.
Momentálně i jediný závodník, který vyhrál dokonce 2 světové závody po sobě. Opravdu Jarda je v tomhle velmi dobrý. 4. místo v Amsterdamu, jak jsme říkali, 1. v Montpellier, naopak. Ale pojďme na něho, pojďme. Jak vidíme, hnedka výborný start, pojďme na to. Rozbíhá to. Teďka trošičku chybička, ale pojď, Jardo. Určitě zvládne tohle dohnat. Teďka dobře odpálit ten obrat. Obrat máme dokonce ve 13. sekundě, takže opravdu velmi dobrý mezičas. Teďka ovšem, ale taky trošku skok, chyba.
Peňa kazí
a Jarda.
Jaroslav Chum, 25,83, druhá příčka.
A tak to je.
To je krásné, to je krásné.
Pojďme na to, pojďme. Jarda sice neurvává první pozici, ale urve si 2. místo, což je parádní výsledek na World Games, kdy završuje své velmi úspěšné více než vlastně 3 roky závodění. Jeden z nejvíce vyhrávajících závodníků na celém světě a teďka si odnese stříbrnou medaili z World Games tady v Číně.
Prohrál jenom s Kurtem Mellerem, což je opravdu ta superstar současnosti. Ten mladší závodník, který by měl převzít tu štafetu a už ji v podstatě opravdu přebírá a předvedl dnes skvělý výkon Švýcar. Opravdu to byla perfektní práce od něj. Jaroslav Chum vlastně je úžasné, že prohrává o půl sekundy, o 5 desetin, přestože v jeho případě to nebyl čistý run. Takže samozřejmě trošku možná může litovat, ale na druhou stranu přesně ukázal, že je skvělý, protože i s těmi 2 chybičkami, které tam byly, nebyly to katastrofální chyby, to spíš Peňa měl problém a bohužel ten kvůli tomu přijde o medaili, o 0,03 sekundy prohrál. Tady vidíte znovu, jak mu uklouzly nohy, jak nedoskočil. Konzolíny bude mít bronz, ale Jaroslav Chum i s těmi chybičkami, i s těmi drobnými zdrženími, tak bez potíží porazil Konzolínyho a prohrává pouze s Kurtem Mellerem. Velká gratulace.
Velká gratulace. Carlos Peña, který teďka bohužel nedosáhne na medaili, vlastně na ní celou dobu čeká trošičku, tak tam se to bohužel nepodaří ani tentokrát. Vlastně nejlépe byl 4. 3. Konzolíny, tak pro něho je to úplně 2 World Games za sebou takhle na vysokých úrovních, to je pro něho splněný sen. Jarda, ježiši, tak to je... Teďka nám tam i komentuje celý šťastný, tak to je paráda. I s 2 chybičkami, kdyby to byl tak čistý run, jako jsme viděli právě u Švýcara, tak by nejspíše dostal i na tu první pozici. Vidíme opravdu o půl o půl sekundy. Je to výborný výsledek. Naopak Švýcar teda tady potvrzuje momentální dominanci v této disciplíně.
Po kvalifikaci to vypadalo, že bych mohl mít zlatou a vlastně to stříbro tam nakonec krásně sedí, takže umístím ho někam na nějakou samostatnou poličku, aby bylo vidět jako jediná stříbrná, a pro mě je to mimochodem jako fakt největší závod, jsou tu ty největší borci. Dostat se sem je extrémně složitý, těžký, přijde cestovat po světě, do toho ta aklimatizace tady, to potom vůbec nemluvím, nečekal jsem, že to bude jako takhle šíleně náročný, takže mám radost, že jsme vůbec prošli tréninkama a že jsem to dotáhl na to druhé místo.
And Sachov versus Sternadova, two very different styles of athlete. They've got to be disciplined. It's the red shirt of Sachov, the shorter fighter. Sternadova.
Sanchov is straight away trying to close her immediately. Strattonova being smarter here, keeping her distance. Sachov's coming forward, Strattonova's taking a step back every time. Times out for a boot malfunction there.
Just that strapping, got to make sure it's right. Don't want any distractions. Sternadova probably got 3 or 4 centimeters over Sachov.
Feeling each other out here the first 30 seconds as always. Strattonova using the ring as well as Sanchov circling. Nice kick by Strattonova, but countered by Sanchov immediately. Closing the gap. Strattonova's pushing, he's putting pressure on Sanchov against the ropes here. They both come in with both flurry of punches.
Sachov is in the lead on all 3 judges' scorecards.
She's on the defensive here, trying to get out of the rope. She doesn't want to be up against the rope. She's moving out of it pretty well. Yeah, Strattonova putting the pressure on to get on the back foot. Sanchov's against the ropes again. She can get out of it really pretty easy. Sanchov's giving her too much space here.
Sternadova being a little bit too timid.
Cagey, yeah, cagey. Like she's doing good well by putting pressure, trying to get her on the ropes or on the back foot, but then she lets Sanchov come out of it. She's not capitalizing on the pressure that she's actually doing. Like now, she's pressuring. And Sanchov finds it easy to circle her, like just like that, circle her out of it and back into the center. That's in round 1.
Well, it's a 2-0 lead for Yulia Sachkov.
And the rest was just Strattonova putting the pressure on against Sanchov on the back ropes, and then Sanchov just getting out of it easily, then coming around back in the center of the ring.
Actually just being pushed backwards. Now we can box. More aggression immediately.
Straight away, yeah. Strattonova putting the pressure on again. And throwing some fakes in as well, trying to move the Sanchov's opponent's guard. Keeping her. This time she's doing a little bit better. Our coach has probably heard me on the commentator here. Keeping on the ropes, that's it, not let her out as much, but there, Sanchov got out of it, back center again.
Not being able to put a glove on her yet though, no point scored.
And turn. Sanchov's very good at turning and getting back into, not getting caught, not getting into any danger zone here. Pressure again by Strattonova. A few leg kicks there. None scored though. Sanchez still in the lead. A jumping round is cleared by Strattonova there. No to no effect. Strattonova there again has the pressure on Sanchov. And Sanchov closes and moves. Sanchkov still in the lead. Try to turn him back knuckle again. Done the turning back knuckle by Sanchkov.
It's a low-scoring round. Not many things have landed. Good defense from Sachkov.
It's very cagey by both fighters. Strattonova's doing well, but then not capitalizing on what she's actually doing good at. Maybe the first 30 seconds of the second round. Sachkov is doing brilliant here. Leg by leg, they're just kicking each other. You kick me, I kick you back. Sachkov still in the lead. A nice lead hook there by Sachkov. And turned back to the center. Stratonova back to the pressure fighting. Putting on the pressure. Here we go. Can she keep her there? No, Sachkov comes out of it easily. Again, second round's over.
It's the second tight final of the night.
In my opinion, when Stratonova should have Sachkov against the rope, she should use that. That is a danger zone for Sachkov. Stratonova should be capitalizing on that pressure.
Let's see if she does. Once again, she's in quickly.
Again, pressure on Sachkov. That's more like it by Sachkov. She's thrown techniques at her now. Perfect. 2 leg kicks in a row there. And now Stratonova has Sachkov on the ropes. Good move by Sachkov to get out of it. She finds it a little bit more difficult this time, Sachkov, to try and get out of it. Stratonova's doing a lot better this round. Nice front kick by Sachkov to keep her out. Here we go, Stratonova against the ropes, but Sachkov turns her and the referee gets him back to the middle and they're back at it. And Sachkov's on the ropes again, but she gets out of it by fighting her way out of it.
3-2-1 the deficit amongst the 3 judges, all in favour of Sachkov, but it's tight.
Stratonova has on the edge on the ropes again, trying to put the pressure on her. And she's to go from there. Yes, there she does. They come in the clash. Sachkov turns her and moves. Again, Stratonova on putting the pressure on straight away. Comes in the lead jab. Oh, turning.
Time's running down for Stratonova.
30 seconds. Sachkov is retreating, but she's in the lead and she's getting out of it by getting leg kicks at each other. Here we go, good pressure by Stratonova. Sachkov again kicking and punching her way out of it.
She established the lead early, Sachkov, and she's held on to it.
That's 15. Stratonova. It is a better round for Stratonova here, but it's not enough.
Stratonova chases into the corner, but is chasing shadows, and our champion will be from Israel. Yulia Sachkov, gold for Israel, 9-6, 6-4, 7-3. Unanimous from the judges. Yulia Sachkov, gold. Klára Stratonova, Czech Republic, silver.
Jsem smutná samozřejmě, chtěla jsem to zlato. Soupeřku s tou se tahám už spoustu let a myslela jsem si, že mám na to jí dneska porazit, ale bohužel byla lepší. Taktiku, kterou na mě měla, že vlastně snažila se nabodovat a pak už jenom vlastně utíkala všechny ty 3 kola. Takže já jsem se jí snažila dohonit ten bodový rozdíl, ale bohužel se mi to nepovedlo. Myslím si, že jsem se na ní měla asi líp připravit, ale já věřím, že ještě máme mistrovství světa, takže tam to snad otočím.
První kolo bylo takový hodně těsný, docela to sedělo, pak trošku přidala body a 3. kolo už jsem chtěl prostě, aby se prostě o to porvala, což udělala, že já jsem jakoby spokojený. Tohle to je prostě obrovský úspěch, takže mám z toho radost. Hlavně, aby ona z toho nebyla špatná, jinak je mi to jedno. Tak aspoň mám motivaci, ještě stihneme jedny světové hry. No a kdybychom tyhle vyhráli, mělo by to cenu jít na další. No.
Trenér Kláry Stratonové Zdeněk Švamberg zhodnotil působení své svěřenkyně svým typicky svébytným způsobem. Pro Češku bylo hodně důležité na světových hrách to, že zvládla ty první 2 zápasy, tak jak sama říkala a mluvil o tom v průběhu turnaje i její trenér. Největší problém pro Kláru Stratonovou bývají úvody turnajů, ty první zápasy, a ona tentokrát zvládla porazit jak brazilskou, tak tureckou soupeřku. Dostala se tedy až do finále proti své rivalce, se kterou se dost možná potká i na blížícím se mistrovství světa. Teď důležité rezimé, 6. medaile pro českou výpravu na těchto světových hrách a to ještě do konce podniku zbývají další 3 dny. Pro Stratonovou krásný zážitek z čínského dějiště.
Určitě jsem nadšená, protože by mě ani jako nenapadlo, že se do finále dostanu do jako světových her. A I když jsem trochu jako smutná, tak já jsem se tady užívala a ve finále jsem ráda, že medaili mám a snad to ten kickbox posune trošku dopředu. Užila jsem si to fakt na 100%. Všichni se o nás hezky postarali. Líbilo se mi tady, že máme český zázemí, že prostě se máte na koho obrátit a celkově ta organizace byla jako fakt zvládnutá. A jako mám z toho dobrý pocit a fakt jsem si to užila.
Thanks again for joining us for the bittersweet final day of competition here on day 10 of the 2025 World Games. In the commentary box, I'm Megan Kelmo, and I'm joined once again by Jake Sanson. Jake, can you believe it's already time for us to wrap up competition and we're about to award our first ever World Games medals for Motosurf?
Absolutely. It's not fair. We're just getting started with the action in my book, and it's been fantastic to see how the last 2 days of the practice, the qualification, the preparation in the heats, it's really all come together, and particularly in this Nations Cup, this brand new concept for 2025 in Motosurf, never mind in World Games. This has been really keeping the athletes on their toes throughout the last couple of days.
Well, you couldn't have said it better. We've really had trial by fire for these athletes in this mixed gender event, the Nations Cup. We have 2 riders for each of these teams, 1 male, 1 female, with a transition in between the riders that involve swimming and running, which we don't typically see in Motosurf competition. So it's been fascinating to follow the progress of the athletes as they learn on the fly how all of this works and what strategies really work best in this discipline. For our first final ever in the history of the World Games for Motosurf, the men are off with the green flag having been dropped and getting right down to it. Oh my goodness, we had some contact there in the midfield. They did come apart. It looks like they're going to be all right. I'm not sure which 2 riders that was exactly, but Lukas Zahorsky, wow, look at the speed of the Czech rider just getting so low as he enters the course.
It was Zhu who managed to get that little bit of a wayward start, going side by side parallel there with Arkadiusz Janora. They go into the serpentine. They can choose whichever side they wish to try and get through, but the difficulty for the riders in 4th, 5th, 6th position is they're following in the wake of the white water. When the water oxidizes as you go through in fast field, it's very slow to go through the white water. So if you can get a little bit of distance away from the rider in front of you, you can travel through the water much quicker. And the riders have been finding with the high temperatures of the water and the air mixed with this green fuel that they're using in these boards, it's actually been very difficult to find that ultimate speed. Still looking good for the silver medal though, Slovakia. We go into the white flag then, the last lap, and this is the chance really for Eliška Matušková to ride into the history books. 3 European Championships, 3 World Championships, but this is going to mean so much more. The gold medal in the Nations Cup for the Czech Republic, the nation's first of these World Games.
Yes, it will be such a big deal, and I think for all the Czech fans that are tuned in, get ready to celebrate, because without any incident, which we can't imagine that there would be, we're on track for the Czechs to win their first gold medals of this games, as you just mentioned. Sorry, I'm just trying to track our Chinese rider here, as she's also encountering some traffic, because both of these riders favored to do really quite well in the singles competition
and that's for the bronze as well. Xiao's trying to get China too to move forward ahead of Poland. That's really, really close. But here is the final turn. Eliška Matušková is going to bring it home.
Yes, everything has gone to the books for the Czech riders, and that will be the first gold medal in the history of Motosurf generally at the Games, of course making its debut here, so in the history books no matter how you want to shape it. But a great day for Czechia as well, as these riders seal the deal here. Eliška Matušková.
And if that is the case, then Slovakia may lose their silver medal, but it's certainly celebration time for everybody back home in Brno as well. Great to see the fantastic work that the 17-year-old Eliška Matušková and the 24-year-old Lukas Zahorsky have got the job done.
The World Games in the sport of Motosurf. These 2 really had the strategy on lock for this mixed gender relay event, the Nations Cup. No one faster on the water, no one faster in the transition, and it paid off. Gold medals for these 2, Eliška Matušková and Lukas Zahorsky.
starting with the men's category, this is going to be ferociously competitive. Been talking with the majority of the 12 finalists. They all bring something really special to the table in terms of pedigree. I've never seen a more stacked lineup of 12 finalists for a final like this in a game of this kind of competition with such pedigree. There are so many great talents from around the world here. You've got world champions, you've got champions in the Masters, stock and elite categories in the World Championships. You've got the Asian and District Korean champions, you've got the North American champion in there, you've got the winners from finals over the course of this year in the first two events in UAE and Turkey. So for them to come to Chengdu with the 12 peak riders, you can say, from all of the different nations that compete in Motosurf to be here.
All right, the flag is up. And the flag is dropped for the final for men's single Motosurf here at the World Games in 2025. Whew, a lot of wash going off between those top three riders, but Luke Scheider is down in that really signature position, so low on the board as he's looking to anticipate the first apex here.
Oh, they go parallel again, Kim Down and Lucas Zahorski. It was very close indeed between the two of them yesterday in the fourth heat, and now they've done it again today as they work their way through the Serpentine. 10 laps, a grueling final ahead of us. Luke Scheider seems to have got himself into the top 5 as well, so he actually broke out of the line faster than anybody else. Perfectly legal to do that, but he crossed the white water. He took a big risk there to get himself into a more aggressive position. He's fired up. Got a feel for Feng. He's really lost ground there to Shang, who's managed to get ahead of him despite taking the 2 long laps. So the longevity of the Chinese riders looking a little bit tentative at the moment. I'm not sure if Shang and Feng have the staying power to remain in the medal positions here. It's going to be difficult to see if they can keep the focus in the last 3 laps. It all depends on that little wobble between Down Kim, Skamler, Luke Scheider. Maybe Zhu has a chance to hold this together now that he's jumped Boabas again. There could be a chance for him to keep that top 5 position.
Well, Zahorski is just closing ground on this rider in front. Does this maybe create an opportunity for him to think about the long lap? Yes, indeed. He's going to take it off just to get out of that traffic and see what he can do out here in the dark buoys.
Now he's got to do this twice in 3 laps, so that's obviously going to change the rhythm a little bit. This is where you can get a little bit more of the power down. You go a little bit faster in the long lap because you've got more straights to contend with. You can push towards that 70 kilometers an hour top speed. We were getting about 60 to 65 yesterday. You're not quite going to max it out on this course. He manages to rejoin directly into the path there of, I think, Hassan Boabas. So that is okay for the moment. I don't think they're on the same racing lap at the moment. So Zahorski still holds the advantage, but look at Luke Scheider. He's right in there in the mix now behind Down Kim. This is where the 18-year-old can gain some momentum.
And we're getting into the sharp end of this race, as Jake likes to say. Are we going to start seeing some of those fatigue mistakes as we have just a few more minutes of racing and these riders are all just starting to feel the weight of the program from yesterday and also from today? How are their bodies going to hold up over these last couple of minutes of racing? So
Zahorski's taken both of his long laps. It's now going to depend on how Kim and Luke Scheider respond to that challenge. They've got to bring their A game to the table here. Lucas Zahorski has all the aces up his sleeve. He's just got to run in fluid motion through the course, and now we're going to wait to see if Down Kim and Luke Scheider can get in amongst them. Luke Scheider hasn't been able to leapfrog Zahorski, so the gold is pretty much gone, but he's still got an opportunity for silver as Down Kim is going into the last lap. He'll have to take his last long lap on the final tour.
Everything is going to hinge on the exit of the long lap for Down Kim, leaving it to the very last moments. Oh gosh, I really hope we get a good picture of the re-entry into the course because this is going to be a critical moment for this final.
So Zahorski's just lining himself up. He's still in the wash. Here goes Down Kim. He's going to work his way through. Luke Scheider's through in second place, but he's also got to take his long lap now. Down Kim is going to have it all the way to go through. Hang on a minute.
Did he skip his last long lap?
I think he might have done.
Oh my goodness, this could be disaster for the Korean rider.
Well, Luke Scheider's taken it by the look of it. I think Down Kim has missed his second long lap. Either that or the graphic hasn't picked it up. But that could be a dramatic end. Has he miscounted on the laps as they come through? The checkered flag is in the air. Down Kim's crossed the line. 10 laps completed, having only done 1 of his long laps. That's going to give the gold to Lucas Zahorski without any shadow of doubt.
Did he just slap his helmet, or was that the other Korean rider that we're looking at now? Oh my goodness.
I think he's miscounted. He's miscounted. Zahorski knows that he's got the job done. Zahorski will have the gold.
Oh my goodness, what a misfortune for the Korean rider. Down Kim
It's so difficult to count how many laps you've been racing because you can't see where the white flag comes. And once you're in the zone, you're just in the zone. Zhang's going to come through for second. Feng is going to come through for third. How have the Chinese done this again to get their riders into second and third places? Amazing work.
Truly a historic moment for Czechia, for Lukas Zahorsky, and for Motosurf. Of course, making its debut as part of the World Games family for the first time in history. We're so pleased to have the Motosurf family here at the World Games in Chengdu and just making their presence known in a very big way. Of course, the sport originating and having its home in Czechia, so no better ambassador for the sport to bring home some hardware than Lukas Zahorsky.
And he was telling me he was so concerned about whether these would actually go the distance, whether he could make it last for 10 laps. That is fantastic stuff. Lucas, you are the man. You are the gold medalist in the 2025 World Games here at Chengdu. Absolutely extraordinary. Well done, my friend.
Of course, coming back from a brief retirement in order to be here with hopes of making this top step of the podium at the World Games. Lukas Zahorsky for Czechia. All right, here's our start list. And as an exciting turn of events, we will finally have a 12-athlete field for this final. Our women's field, a few athletes shorter than the men, so 24 riders started for the men. We had just 17 start for the women, so we're down to 12 now, but that meant during the qualification rounds that we had heats of 8 or 9, and now we have the full 12. So full gas action for the women in this final. Starting formation, we have Eliška Marešková with a hand in the air, just indicating that she's ready to get the riders in line. There's that flag, and it's dropped immediately. We're underway for our final race of the Motosurf program here in 2025 at the World Games in Chengdu. As the riders tear around this turn and get ready to enter the course, that's a big gap already for Eliška Marešková as she comes up to this first turn.
Interesting start from Navarova. She dropped out of the line in exactly the same way we saw from Luke Scheider initially, and into second position. We've got a nice little battle cooking up here on the far side between Stříbro and I think that is going to be Zuborova trying to cut back in decent run, and she's managed to get there. So Zuborova has held on to that second position for the time being. She's the one with the biggest work to do here as the 15-year-old, one of the youngest competitors in the field. I think she might actually be the youngest. So this is definitely tough stuff for her moving forward. She's got a lot of work to do if she wants to get a gold medal away from Eliška Marešková.
We've talked a lot about her youth and the experience that this event is going to offer her, and the poise that it takes for an athlete of her age to come and compete at this extremely high level. So a lot of props for this athlete to compete at just 14 years of age.
God, the waves are so much bigger than they were yesterday. Considering this is a man-made reservoir, it's looking a lot choppier, and Mariana Navarova almost speared into the side of Emma Stříbro coming through the turn. As a result, she's unsettled, so I think she's now gone for the long lap. So Stříbro drops out of the queue, so she's the first big player to go into the long lap, and I think Rosalia Yanora went with her there. So Stříbro's certainly gone. Yanora, I think, has done exactly the same thing.
So just these two out in front now. It's just Marešková and Zuborova tracking her very closely around the far side of the course. But Eliška Marešková, again, just going to keep her focus forward, focus on her own race here. And
Sarah, she's gone!
She's gone
Sarah's
down.
gone!
Oh, Zuborova's going to need to get the board turned over quickly and get back into play. Oh, that might be a huge upset for the medals here as the first Slovakian rider goes down into the water after putting huge amounts of pressure on Marešková.
I was about to say she was a lot closer to Marešková than Eliška would have liked. She was definitely upping the ante, and it's so easy to drop it in the whitewash of another rider. She gets herself corrected again. She's got to go on to the long lap to salvage something from this race, but I've got a feeling that the medals are gone for the talented 15-year-old, the youngest in our field, Sara Zuborova. You got a feel for the Slovakian. She had such an opportunity there. A win could have been there. So as that mixes itself up. Střičilova went for the second long lap as well, so that gives Navratilova into second and Suborova into third, although don't forget that Suborova's fall means she's got to take a second long lap. A little bit of urgency from Navratilova. Get out of the way, I need to make this progress here. She's getting held up here behind Flores, so she needs to go for the long lap. Yes, indeed she does. Good tactics there from Navratilova. She doesn't want to get held up too long here. Oh, that's Matoskova, my apologies. So Matoskova goes for the long lap. It wouldn't shock me if Navarrova's gone with her.
Interesting stuff. So the Mexican rider causing a lot of problems for some of our race leaders, just with the timing being unfortunate with traffic and backups on the standard part of the course. But Matoskova now back on and done with her long lap. So it's smooth sailing now, barring any incidents. We look to make her the favorite still, coming up and looking for that checkered flag in these last couple minutes of racing.
Zubarova takes the lead of the race, but of course she's still got one long lap to go, so she gets a little moment of shining glory at the front end of the field for the time being, but obviously when she takes that second long lap, it's going to come through for her. Cow finds herself ahead of Střičilova. How has she done this again? Cow has worked her way forward ahead of Střičilova and Navratilova. She's just had superior confidence to move that way forward. It's people power, I tell you.
Well, I really want to get confirmation that we're going to see Suborova go and take that long lap, because we saw such an unfortunate incident with one of our favorites for the men's race losing out because he failed to take his second long lap, and indeed there she goes. So I can relax on my seat now to make sure that she's going to get that second long lap in. We don't want to see a repeat of that here in the women's race.
Eliska Matoskova is now just cruising to the finish, but I cannot believe that Gao has been able to elevate herself into that second position from fourth place ahead of Střičilova. So close between Suborova and Mariana Navratilova. She's jumped her. She's got into fourth position. If there's one fall in the serpentine, she could grab a medal.
It's all going to come down to the split between these last couple of riders there. So we see Eliska Matoskova get that checkered flag, and it's going to be a clean sweep of the golds for Czechia at the World Games in 2025 for Motosurf.
An absolute amazing run. It's a double gold for both Lukas Zahorsky and Eliska Matoskova. They bring home the Nations Cup and they win their individuals for Czechia. 3 gold medals, and the first 3 here in the World Games for the Czech Republic. Amazing.
Eliska Matoskova, incredibly dominant over the course of the weekend. And of course, a double gold medalist in Motosurf. We're going to listen to the Czech national anthem for the 3rd and final time today.